Hello, this is my 27th speech for the Ron Paul curriculum. Today I'm going to be giving a speech on the critical race theory. Every afternoon after school, I watch the news with my mom, and I have noticed that the critical race theory is a pretty hot topic, and it has been a hot topic for the last several weeks. So I wanted to do some research on it and give a speech on it. Just keep in mind that I'm not the most educated person on the critical race theory, but I know enough that it's speech-worthy. So let's jump right into it. The critical race theory is an intellectual movement and loosely organized framework of legal analysis based on the premise that race is not natural. Biologically grounded feature of physical distinct subgroups of human beings, but a social constructed category that is used to oppress and exploit people of color. Critical race theorists hold that the law and legal institutions in the United States are inherently racist insofar as they function to create and maintain social, economic, and political inequalities between whites and non-whites, especially African Americans. I heard one teacher on the news say that the curriculum demonizes white people. It makes children think that white people are oppressors and black people are the ones being oppressed. And in a nutshell, the critical race theory basically it does demonize white people, and it makes one race superior over the other. The schools run on money from the government, so they don't exactly care what the children learn. The teachers don't want to teach, and the children don't want to learn themselves. And on top of all of that, they shove in the kids' faces that black people are oppressed and the white people are the oppressors. If we taught our kids to protect their own property, defend their rights, favor liberty over central government, and only had the government to protect their rights and defend the Constitution, and let the American people run their businesses and the free market, we would have a flourishing economy and much better people, I would think. People that are allowed to protect and defend their own property tend to be better people, and people with values and rights, and they know that they have values and rights, so they preserve those, and they don't just answer to anybody, which critical race theorists, they do answer to just anybody. Instead, teachers are trying to teach kids that there is racism in our country. We need equality. Individuality gives way for the struggles of social justice. If you don't give your money to corporations, you're a bad person, and all of this stuff. Our country wants everyone to be equal. And to be equal, you can't have individuality, freedom of speech, or property, and etc. But all of those things are what makes a person. My freedom of speech, individuality, values, interests, that all makes me the person that I am. And people that don't have those things, they're just subject to everybody else. We would live in a communist society or a socialist society. And that is not a good place to live, because people that are subject to somebody else live in a communist society, don't have any individuality, values, rights, freedom of speech, all those type of things. They're not a person. All of that stuff makes them a person. My freedom of speech makes me a person. My individuality makes me a person. My values and interests make me my own person. If somebody had the same personality as me, if somebody looked exactly the same as me, had the same name, that doesn't matter. I am my own person because of my individuality. They are a completely different person. They are a completely different person from me. And we are equal, but we are all different because of our values, interests, and our individuality. And people that are the critical race theorists, they believe that if you have your individuality and if you're not, if you know that you have values and interests, then you're not a good person. And what am I without freedom of speech? What am I without my property? I am a person subject to everyone else. We are all equal, but we're all different people with different interests. With equality, people wouldn't have the things that make them the person that they are. And the critical race theorists don't see that. They just see that everyone needs to be equal. We need to have an equal society. Everyone needs to have minimum wage. There shouldn't be any competition. But as I've said before in some of my later speeches, or some of my earlier speeches, that if you don't have competition or equality or everyone has the same wage, why would anyone want to work? If I can't have and spend as much money as I want to on certain things, and if I can't have specific resources, then why would I be a businessman? I mean, why would I want to be subject to somebody else? No one wants to be subject to somebody else. But the critical race theorists believe that for everyone to be equal, you have to be subject to somebody else. And that would be the critical race theorists. So I would say that when we teach all of our kids all of this crap, which is what it is, they'll grow up to mold into society, becoming another social justice warrior, someone with no values or interests, the things that make a person they don't have, and love it. They teach kids to blend into society when they're born, to stand out, to be another street monkey, burning down buildings, calling it good and peaceful. They beat the originality out of kids in schools, and those are some of the reasons why I don't want to send my kids to public school, is because they don't let them be the people that they should be. Everyone should be the same person, or everyone should be equal to everyone, which, as I said before, we're all equal. We are all different people, though, and they don't see that. So, conclusions. The critical race theory is an intellectual movement based on the premise that race is not natural. It teaches kids that one race is superior over the other, and it forces equality so much that it flattens inequality, making everyone poor and subject to tyrannical rule. This is my 27th speech for the Ron Paul curriculum. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.